Peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Are you nuts?
It's still good.
You'll never get anywhere treating your helmet like a lunchbox, son. What is that?
Cheetos.
Crunchy or puffed?
Puffed.
Wimp. All right. Everyone.
Hello. Please come in. Come in. There's some fresh cookies in the cookie jar. There's a pitcher of Kool-Aid on the counter. Have a seat. We'll put a movie on for you. This is Movies at Grandma's House, where we look at the movies from the past to see if they're still good today. And I'm your host, Isaac. Don't be talking about my mama. And who's joining me for a Pee-wee team that are a bunch of cuts but are competing to be the team of a fictional town in Ohio?
This is Seth. That's it. I'm leaving the country. I'm moving to New Mexico.
It is great to see you, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing really well today. I'm just having a good time and excited for this episode.
Me as well. This is a fun movie. I think this is a movie that, like a lot we cover, ones that I've talked to, they have a lot of good memories with. And I'll be honest, I hadn't seen it in years. So I was so excited when we saw we were going to cover this movie to go back and rewatch, to kind of relive those memories, because this is one that I can recall growing up. I watched it nonstop, and we'll get into that more. But yeah, I'm with you. This has been a episode I was kind of marking it on my calendar, waiting till we got a chance to cover it and really get into the meat of it, so to say. But before we do, we just want to say, if you could do us a solid, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe. That way you'll be up to date all things Movies at Grandma's House. And a proper warning, we just like to make sure this movie came out years ago. But if you've not seen this movie, please stop what you're doing. Go watch it. It might be tough to stream it, but I'm sure you'll be able to locate it in some shape or form. You know how streaming services are, they're come and go. But be sure you watch this movie first. Come on back, and we're going to have a great time with this movie. It's a movie called Little Giants. So this was released back all the way 30 plus years ago. October 14th, 1994. Cannot believe it. I still cannot believe it. It's like every time we look at these dates, I feel like, was that 10 years ago? No, 30 years ago for this one. I'm feeling old. So I was a little surprised to see this. So an interesting thing is the budget for this film was $20 million. I see the box office, it only did $19.3 million at the box office. I'm very surprised to see that. I'm a little sad, actually. The reviews I'm kind of looking at, IMDb gives it, we would consider that favorable, 6.4 out of 10. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Rotten Tomatoes is definitely more on the split there. It's about 50%. And I see another review come up on Prime, of all places. It varies on the first reviews you kind of see when you search it. 6.4 out of 10. So again, not terrible, but not great on the reviews. Like we mentioned, we kind of have a lot of nostalgia with this film. So let's talk about that. What are some first memories you have with this film?
I remember watching this a few times as a kid. I thought it was really funny.
Yes. I can recall some quotes still stuck in my head to this day. The one kid, and we'll get into the characters. I forget his name, but he's the one with the glasses and, really small, but he's just, I can't see with this thing on. That always sticks in my head. Still to this day. It has so many quotes. I'm with you. I thought it was hilarious. Loved football. So this was a kid's movie, and going into, if you like football, something I think if you were a kid, you loved this movie. And I was one of them. I enjoyed football, and I love the actors. We'll get into that. I want to save it till we can really talk about the actors in it. I love the casting. all that. Even as a kid, I couldn't tell you probably who they were, but I just remember I really liked the actors, who they chose, and their comedic deliveries, because this is a kids movie, but it's got a lot of comedy to it. So that's what, if you were to ask me, what do you remember about Little Giants? I'm with you. The comedy, the actors, and being all things football. It was like, if you're all things football, this really hit on you as a kid. So with that in mind, again, we talked about this over 30 years ago is when this came out. What were your expectations then, going back on the rewatch?
Really, it was just hoping that it was as funny as it was when I was a kid and that the humor stands today.
That's how I was feeling too. I was wanting to see how my kids react, like I always do with all these movies. I was just really curious, like, are they going to find it funny like I did? Are they going to be interested? You know, what are their thoughts? So that was my expectations. I was more curious what they thought, but I'm right there with you. I was like, I hope it holds up. And, you know, maybe like we do on this podcast, maybe there's some things you missed or you didn't maybe recall as a kid. So I was very interested to see what kind of difference it would make of all these years later going back and watching it. So without further delay, let's jump right into this one. Let's take the VHS out of the cover. Let's put it in the VCR and press play.
Two brothers have a bit of a sibling rivalry. One, a modest gas station owner. The other owns a car dealership. When Kevin refuses to put Becky, his niece, on the Pee Wee football team, Danny decides to coach his own team. In this adorable Pee Wee football movie, we see how characters can grow, also learning that everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Find your seat, enjoy your Kool-Aid.
Very nice. Yeah, this is it's a pretty straightforward plot. You know, like you mentioned there, it's kind of that rivalry, but it's a feel-good underdog story. I think going along with what you're saying, you can just kind of go into the plot and have a good time. Just sit back, relax. So I'm curious though, what are some first impressions you have when you're first watching this movie?
I have to say, nostalgia overload. It brings me right back to being a child. Very similar to what was it we covered with the animals? What was that?
Oh, we covered a lot with animals.
The one where the animals are trying to find back their home. What was it? Homeward Bound?
Homeward Bound, yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
That nostalgia brought me back just like that movie. And aside from that, a little bit of potty humor. This is a very good family film, I can say.
Yes. I'll say first impressions, my kids were laughing out loud. They love the potty humor. Farts and everything included, all that stuff. They were giggling, laughing. And that's what this film's trying to do. It's just trying to be a fun time for kids. I mean, I'm watching it as an adult, and I think that's a good word. Cute is kind of the way I imagine it now, looking at it. Like, I enjoy it. I think it's still funny and all that stuff. It is different, though. I mean, that's what's so wonderful about this podcast. I'll just go back to your perspective. It's not that it's one extreme to the other. It's just interesting how your perspective is. I mean, as a kid, I just thought this movie is so great. It's amazing. And going back to it, it's like, I think it's funny and this is great. And it's just enjoyable. It's a different perspective. I'm noticing a lot more of that. Like you said, the potty humor. Now I look at it like, okay, maybe there is a little too much there, but it's still okay. I don't think it's
lighthearted. It's lighthearted.
Yes, exactly. It's not over the top. It's not too gross, that kind of thing. It's just maybe you notice it a little more as an adult. You're like, okay,
I think so.
Yeah, because like I said, my kids loved it. They were laughing, and they just thought it was great. And that's exactly how I felt as a kid. So, you know, I'll give them a round of applause. The producers of this movie, they knew who their target audience was, and I think they hit on it really well, because my kids had such a fun time with this. They were laughing. Like I said, they liked that premise of, you know, kids are being cut because they aren't good enough. I kind of like that. Maybe we'll jump into that with the characters. Each character is unique. They have a special ability they might be good at, but then there's also a flaw to them. Maybe something that they're not good at, and that's why they got cut. What are some characters, though? I mean, I'm interested to know. There's so many, but just start with what kind of pops into your mind.
I think you're anxious to talk about the kids. In my notes, I've got first off, Rick Moranis and Ed O'Neill. I mean, come on. Great in this movie. Then you've got Icebox. The kid you were talking about, his real name is Todd Bosley. Just a wonderful cast. So many pronounced characters. They all have their own little personalities, even though they don't have a lot of lines in the movie. Yeah. They do really well with what they're being given, and I was blown away by like the acting from the children, and it was just really well done.
Yeah. I mean, the adults, like you said, those are so great. Ed O'Neill. We've talked about Ricky Moranis in other films we've covered by him. He's just a national treasure, in my opinion. He's so great. He's just, it's like in some shape or form, you almost wish he was in your family. Like if he was that uncle or something. He's just so, you can't help but love him.
I don't know. Feeling, yeah.
Yeah. He's just so great. I love his demeanor. He's just this fun, let's have fun, but okay, I can be tough at times too, kind of mentality. He does such a good job playing a dad, and that's what he does in this movie. But yeah, all the kids are great. Like you said, they're great acting. You have Icebox Becky, kind of that central main character. And the reason she's cut is because she was a girl, and girls can't play football. That's kind of the theme of this movie, is not just that, but you can't play football for X reason. You have one of the kids, he's really fast, but he has terrible catching ability. So kind of defeats the purpose of being a receiver. You kind of understand that, but he's still really good. He's fast. He can, compared to other kids, they show I like the running him through drills. He's one of the faster kids. You have the one kid that's like a lineman, but when he runs, he sounds like a donkey. I hate to be critical of, but it's what I think of, just like when he runs, and I don't know why it's so bad of me to say laughing at a kid like that, but it one of those things that always stuck out to my mind. If you said what's about Little Giants, I'd say, well, the kid that runs sounds funny. Always, I remember him. There's a little kid with the glasses, like I mentioned before. He's just kind of small, not as strong. But it's such a, I don't know, heartwarming movie because they come together. You see their struggles they deal with, and they just bounce off of each other very well. What did you think of the chemistry with all of them? I thought that was really what makes it the glue of this movie.
Typically, I think back in the 90s, they did a lot of this where they would get the kids together and kind of get to know each other before they started shooting the movie. I don't know if they did that for this one or not, but it sure felt like it. They seemed like they were from the same town, and they really knew each other, and they got along really well, and they seemed to kind of have each other's backs even, which is really cool. That's a nice feature.
Yeah. That must have been it. I think you're right about that, is that they really stressed, hey, we want that to come across on the screen. Mm-hmm. You guys have some kind of connection. We don't want complete strangers faking this connection, because it just felt like you're a kid again. Even as an adult, when I'm watching it, it just feels like, hey, I'm a part of this group of kids that are just having a fun time. They want to fit in, they want to be on a team, but at the same time, they're having a lot of fun. They're just going with the flow. They're being kids. That's kind of where the potty humor comes in, because I can tell you right now, at that age, that is very much apparent in kids, is the potty humor. Especially with my kids. But anyway, they yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I mean, I can't say enough about Ricky Moranis. I love Ed O'Neill as that jerk. He's that, I won a Heisman Trophy, and very, I only expect the best out of my players. He does it so well. Yeah.
If I could jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I liked Ed O'Neill's scene when it was with Becky, and he's telling her she's beautiful. I thought that was touching. When I watched this right before we started, and my goodness, I mean, that was an actual touching scene. You felt for both characters at that moment, and I was like, wow, because he's like the jerk of the movie.
Yeah.
So
That's right. He plays the jerk, and that's why I'm saying he plays it well.
yeah,
I mean, he has moments like that. He's still family, and that's the thing is, Ricky Moranis and him are brothers, and Ed O'Neill's character, Kevin, he's kind of the talk of the town. That's what this town is known for. But he obviously has it all go to his head, but I don't know, he shows that heart, like where you're talking about with that scene, because that's his niece. He's not this
Yeah.
cold-hearted jerk. He's a jerk,
No.
but he's not, he still shows that. I am with you on that scene. That scene stuck out for me too. I don't know. It's a movie that draws you in. You can't help but like the characters. You can't help but enjoy the actors. Again, it's just an enjoyable way it's conveyed. I mean, we could go on and on about the characters. They're so much fun. I mean, you take your pick. I think another interesting character was Spike. What'd you think about Spike kind of being that? He's kind of a wild card because he comes in later and the plot definitely centers around him. But what were your thoughts on him?
it's very intense. He played that role a little too well, if you ask me. That was kind of crazy, actually, but it was fun. It definitely had its moments, and I liked this jarring back and forth with the different characters, and like I'm better than you, and I thought that was funny.
Yes. And his dad, we've talked about him before. He was in
Yes!
Baby's Day Out, so it was so great to
Yes!
see him again. I was like, yes, I love his character. He just plays
he's so funny.
He is. He just plays a good airhead. I don't know how he does it, but he does a good job. Such a good job.
That takes a special talent.
It does.
It does.
I mean, sometimes characters or actors play the same character. I still felt it was different from his other character from Baby's Day Out. They're similar, don't get me wrong, but it was just he's just a fun actor. I like him. Whenever I see him, I kind of get as, oh, you got my attention. And that was no less in this one. He's just, whenever he says Spike, Spike, give me this, that. I just love it. It's great. And like you're talking about with Spike, he jars with Icebox a little bit. That whole, I love that dynamic. It's just, they're kind of equals in a different way. Their strength and everything. So they clash in the game. I really, really enjoyed that. I mean, I can't stress that enough. I really like that plot of they get Spike on their team at first and you think, oh, well, he's kind of their secret weapon. But then, what Ricky Moranis' character, Danny, I always forget it's Kevin and Danny. So Danny, says he's Kevin to get the dad.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, oh, no, you're not really the Heisman winner. So it kind of does that flip.
Yeah.
But they do have a kind of a secret weapon of their own. They happen to stumble upon a kid who just moved into town. His name is Junior.
Yeah.
And he becomes their quarterback. So what'd you think about his character kind of being introduced also as that X factor, I would call him?
Very interesting. He had that team captain kind of look, to me anyway. I was kind of surprised at his acting ability.
Yeah. That actor's been in a bunch of 90s movies. I've seen a bunch at a glance. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's been in, I don't know, just kind of your like teen, preteen kind of movies. And that's what he's going for. Like he gets the attention of Becky Icebox because she's kind of the tomboy, but she has that crush on him when she sees him. Devon Sawa, I think is what I'm seeing, actually. I just looked it up real quick. But if you look him up, he's been in all kinds of other movies. He's kind of in the 90s and then kind of faded off. You didn't really see much of him afterwards. But I thought he was, great actor that they picked for him. Like you said, he has that captain, what they needed, because they're just a dysfunctional team of kids that they have their own talents, but they just need that direction. So, I mean, I can't go enough. I think the strength of this movie is really the characters. There's so many quotes with this movie because, again, we talked about this as a comedy and it appeals to kids, but there's so many funny lines. Is there any quotes that kind of stick out to you or that are memorable to you?
I hate to steal anything from you,
No,
but
go
I've got
for it.
three. I've got three written down here. You can't pitch to Johnny. I'm Johnny. I think it was Kevin actually at the beginning of the film. He goes, Rudy Zoltek, your friendly neighborhood gas man. And then the last one I've got was the actual football player who said, just remember, football is 80% mental and 40% physical. Those are the lines that stuck out to me.
Those are all great. I love that. When you go through, I mean, I love that the one coach that helps Kevin, Ed O'Neill's character, his name is Coach Butts. I mean, again, going back to potty humor. So maybe I'm still a kid. I don't know. I found it funny every time they said Coach Butts. So
yeah.
I like the trash talking, actually, as much as I'm not one to encourage trash talking or anything like that. But I got to go back to, there's funny lines, like you said, but Junior, like at one point, he's like, that's right, Spike, Icebox is going to defrost you. I don't know. Little jammers like that, as cheesy as they sound, I like those.
And it's the delivery, too. Like, it's so well done. Each line is well delivered.
Exactly. I think that's what it is. It's all about maybe the line itself. It's not like the greatest, but the delivery makes it really count, I think. I really like when John Madden and all those players show up, and just those lines, they kind of use that later in the final game, because there's a game that puts them all on the line, and just John Madden, anything and everything he says. I can't tell you exactly what they were, but
I did like when he had the road map, and he's like, we took the 15 to the 44 to the 101, and he's like drawing all this craziness all over the place, and he goes, we need to get to Canton.
Yes. I forgot about that. I love that line, and I can't remember exactly what he says, but Ricky Moranis asked him. I keep calling him Ricky Moranis. I need to call him Danny, but Danny, the head coach, he's just like, any last words of advice? And I think he just says like, yeah, just make sure you show up or something. He's like, that's it. Or something along those lines. I can't remember. I might be remembering it wrong, but it's
I think that was right. I think that was right.
But yeah, just there's so many funny lines. I mean, I mentioned the one kid, I can't see with this thing on. That always sticks out to me. That's one quote. And when they're doing their intimidation,
yes,
they like have like the foam that's there. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's so much fun. It's hilarious. But yeah, I think those are kind of the strengths of this movie. It's just kick back, enjoy the characters, enjoy the quotes. I mean, if we want to talk negatives, I do have something to bring up to you. So I don't recall the exact score, but it's the Cowboys versus the Giants. The Cowboys have the ball. They're already up. And the Giants had made this great rally, but they're still, I think it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 points ahead of them. And they're on the 1 yard line. And they're like, there's only, 30 seconds left in the game or whatever. And they decide to go for it. Like, did the Cowboys not have a kicker or something? Did you notice that?
I did find it odd. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think that they kind of maybe did that intentionally, like for the actual football fans to go, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
I guess. I mean, the other thing I guess you can argue, it's one of those, I think, off camera. It's not really in the movie, but maybe Ed O'Neill's character was like, no, I want to run this down their throat. I want to run the score up as much as they may, go along with the plot. They make a bet where his dealership is on the line and this and that. But still, if I'm in that position, I'm like, I'm kicking a field goal. Like, I don't care. I just need to win and not lose out. Like, I might have an ego the size of Texas, but I'm not going to put it on a bunch of peewee football players' ability, I guess. I don't know. There's little stuff like that. I was kind of like, wait a minute. This is just Yeah, it sets up a great scene with Icebox stopping Spike right at the 1 yard line. I mean, that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
It's just how they could have got to that point. I wish they would have done a little better instead of, okay, they're up by all these points and it's an unnecessary go for it on 4th down. I don't know if you're talking football terms. It, like you said, maybe it was just a way to kind of drive them nuts. I don't know.
It could have been the other. Yeah, I don't know.
It, there's little stuff. If you want to nitpick stuff, I guess that's one thing you can look at. But yeah, anything else or any fun facts to kind of throw into the mix?
I've got 4 fun facts, and I find a couple of them really good. So,
Okay.
the first one is the movie was inspired by a McDonald's commercial where kids were playing Pee Wee football that ran during the Super Bowl. Now, the story's not over.
Okay.
The very next day, Steven Spielberg called the creator of the ad and hired him to write the script for the movie.
Ah.
So
That's
how cool
really
is
cool.
that? Yeah.
Love it. I love stories like that. That's so cool.
Gary Busey and Randy Quaid were originally cast as the leads.
I don't know why that makes me laugh.
Which it wouldn't have been as good of a movie, I don't think, but it would have been funnier. It would have been funnier.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
This has a nice tone to it. That's funny.
There's some scenes that are kind of serious, and they did really well because they hired well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another one, Craig T. Nelson was offered the role of Kevin, but declined because he was already playing a football coach on the TV sitcom called Coach.
Right.
And then the last one I got, you'll love this.
Oh,
So
okay.
Urbania is the fictional town in Ohio. However, it may be inspired by Urbana, between Dayton and Columbus, Ohio. Although the film was made in California, so really it doesn't matter.
Yes. And I was going to bring that out. I was going to say it says it's a fictional town, but I have been through Urbana. I mean, it's right there, kind of like in the Springfield area of Ohio, like you mentioned, between Dayton and Columbus. So it always bothered me. Like, why didn't they just do Urbana? Because
there's no reason why they couldn't have just. I don't understand. I did research on it too, and I was kind of disappointed, but I thought it was funny that they chose to add a letter.
Yeah, it's just very odd to me. Like, why? I don't know. Maybe they wanted to save Urbana from being a tourist spot if the movie really blew up or something. But other than that, it's like, just call it Urbana. And especially the tone of it. I've been through Urbana. I can't say it's identical because, like you said, it was shot in California. But it is just kind of a small town. Yeah, I mean, why not just give them the credit? So it was kind of cool that it's in Ohio, but it kind of bothered me that you couldn't just base it off of an actual town and have fun with it. So.
The funny thing about it is they mention Ohio several times.
Yeah.
So, like, why not use the real city? I don't quite get that, but whatever.
I don't know. But
can't go back in the past. So,
right. It's Urbana to me. That's what it is. I just treat it like Urbana.
There you go.
Well, there you go. I think we touched on a lot of great things. I mean, there's, like we mentioned, a lot of characters we could dive into more, but we kind of got the gist of it there. So before we get to our reviews, though, let's take a look at what kind of reviews we're seeing out there around the net. So, Seth, what kind of reviews do you see?
So the first review I've got for you is Dance_Machine88 says, great family fun, 9 out of 10.
Very high on the rankings. All right. And I like the name, as always, for the username. So keep it up. That's all I got to say. I don't know if those individuals here listen to this podcast, but you're doing a fine job. Keep it up.
You're not going to like this next one.
Okay.
Because it's one of our favorites, but he was kind of I'll get to it. CC the Movie Man -1 says, these kids sports movies are all the same, 2 out of 10.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Harsh.
We still love you. We still love you.
We still love you, CC the Movie Man.
That
And then-
you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I kind of get that. You know, this kind of does define the 90s in a way. You know, a lot of movies were similar, but we'll get to our reviews. You know, I respect what he's saying there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
The last one, Stars 19 said, excellent movie for everyone, 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a first. I've never heard someone give a 10 out of 10
Hey,
for this movie.
I had a few that were 10 out of 10s, but I don't really necessarily understand where they're coming from when they're talking about it. So this one made sense, and I was like, let's go for it, you know.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's a great variety of ones. And, you know, you have the positive, but you also have the negative. I can see both ways
Yeah.
for this movie. So thank you for those reviews. Kind of gives us a little bit of perspective, but let's get down to it. Let's share our thoughts, our reviews. So I have to ask you, Seth, when it comes to the movie Little Giants, how would you rate it? Are you going to take it home? Are you going to leave it at grandma's? Or are you going to hide it in the attic?
I'm going to leave this at grandma's, and it's a strong film, and I can't wait to watch it again. But I also wanted to bring up the fact that I didn't mention that it deals with a girl growing up in a football world. So that movie, you know, that's a hard pill to deliver, and they were actually able to not only make it work, but it worked well. And that's a hard subject to tackle, is what I'm trying to say. Pardon my pun there. It's a big deal because, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of tomboys out there that had a hard time kind of just choosing what they wanted to do. And they pulled it off. It was really well done. Her acting was good. Her lines were good. I just really like this one.
Yeah. Agree with you on that. I'm not going to pull any surprises. I'm going to be in agreement with you. I'm going to leave this at grandma's, and everything you're saying, I like right there. Like I'm trying to think of how I can word it differently. I'm almost identical with your thoughts on this one. I think we're very shared on our rating. And, you know, it's one of those, I guess if I was a kid, I would have been like, take this home, because I did. I was watching this all the time as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I still enjoy this movie. But maybe you have a little bit of a different perspective on certain things. Like, I think it's far from perfect. It's got its flaws. It still enjoys. I'll watch it again. Like I said, I'll leave it at grandma's. I think it's one maybe up on her collection. If she puts it on more often than not when I'm visiting, I have no problem with that. I think it's middle to higher on the tier. We kind of like to rank it that way. That's how I would put this film. I just think maybe with a little bit of time, 30 years, my goodness, again, that amount of time coming back to it, you kind of see the flaws a little bit more, but in no way is this a bad movie. I still had so much fun watching it. I love the quotes. I love the comedy as much as it can, like we talked about, be a little too much.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with this. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with you though. Everything you were saying. So there you have it. There's our thoughts. There's everything from before our first memories till now of Little Giants. I'm just so happy we got to cover this one. This was so much fun to cover. But before we wrap things up, let's make sure we let everyone know where they can connect with us. So Seth, where can people find us?
You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can certainly email us at moviesatgrandmashouse@gmail.com. And we are now on Patreon, so join and stay up to date.
There you go. Be sure to email us if you have any ideas for movies to cover too. Be sure to message us. There might be some movies we're missing. We love the movies we're covering so far. Some have been newer. Some have been like this one 30 years ago. But if there's ones that you're like, why haven't you covered this movie? Be sure to message us. Let us know. We love to hear your thoughts because we're all about that. We want to hear from you guys, what you think and your memories too. Of course, movies like this, if you have some nostalgia, we want to hear it, and we'll give you a shout out in that way. So that will be our time at Grandma's for now. But don't worry, we will be back soon. But in the meantime, remember to be kind and rewind. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.